Hi everyone, my name is Hoda Ali. I am the project lead manager for safeguarding in primary schools and in FGM project. Also, I'm the co-founder of the Vavengers and ex-nurse, HIV and sexual health, and a public speaker. Female genital mutilation, FGMC, as we know now, has become mandatory in 2015. At this time, I was working in Ealing Hospital as an infectious diseases nurse, but I was also in charge of safeguarding in the hospital or doing trainings for junior doctors, all the doctors, nurses, and midwives, because that knowledge wasn't around in the NHS. However, 2017, I was approached by Ealing Council and Perivale Primary School to actually lead the first FGM project in primary school. But also, how do you bring that together? How do you talk to children about FGM without scaring them, but also putting it within the safeguarding? So that's where once I've been approached, I was like, yes, I'll lead that because it's important. Also, teachers and social services in 2015 have that to record and report. So that's how the whole project came about. Mandatory. So schools also need to really, really realize since 2015, it's actually mandatory to record, report, and train your staff and make sure you're taking that. Because if any child in your school happen to be cut, they will go to court and you will have to answer. That's how I actually left in nursing and dedicated my life now to work with young people, especially in primary schools, to make sure they understand how to keep themselves safe, not just FGM, but safeguarding their body. Their body belongs to them. It doesn't belong to anyone else. And if they say no means no, that means no means no. That's how I actually left in nursing and dedicated my life now to work with young people. What is different this one in 2023, the work that we did the last 6 months with Ealing Council, the health improvement team, and the Vavengers was that we just concentrated on us because that funding was coming Ealing Council. And what makes it different also for us, we actually redesigned that work to make sure that it fits to every school because every school is different. Because by this time now, within the 6 years, I worked with in Catholic schools, religion schools, also private schools, learning difficulty schools, so like children with learning difficulties. And that's what was important because now the project wasn't just in the main schools, but it was the schools who actually safeguarding is everyone's business. When we think about the outcome of this project and why it's so important for us actually to talk about it and actually do it in primary school, because the reality is if any girl is going to go through female genital mutilation or cutting, it's a primary school time. It's between the age of 3 or even a baby to the age of 8 years old. The most important thing was for me when I started this work is working with the staff. And it was amazing to see the head teachers, the deputy head teachers, teaching and non-teaching staff to really realize the in-depth of FGM because they only had a safeguarding and you just talk about here and there. But when we talk about the really deep down of what FGMC is and what the psychological, the health effect it is we had a lot of survivors that who came through. That was a staff, teaching staff, non-teaching staff, who actually felt really free and comfortable to speak to me when I was doing the whole school staff training. Second thing was doing the parent staff workshops. And I've been with the parent workshop for 4 days straight. Every morning they drop the children. And again, it was different parents who come through and say, I'm worried about safeguarding of my children, all of it, or I'm worried about internet safety because my children are being groomed. But what was the highlight when it comes to the parent was survivors who are parents who actually felt so at ease to speak in that room and said, I am a survivor as well. What was amazing also is that we are able to provide safe space for these women. So these women can meet me after and I would say, do you need the infibulation? Do you need a clinic? Because I have a lot in London. We have 11 FGM specialist clinics in London alone. So I have connection with a lot of them. And the third part was teaching the children. And with the children, you have to teach them at the right time, at the right age. You can't give them too much information, not too little information. You have to provide information they understand and they're not scared of. So one of the heart of this, what I do with the children when I'm teaching is the slogan from NSPCC, my body, my rules, and the pants rules. So when I come to the class, my children know their rights and each lesson is different. Year 3, we talk about rite of passage. We talk about good and bad surprise. Year 4, we talk about inequality. We just had voting. We talk about the suffragettes. We talk about Malala. We talk about why boys and girls are treated differently around the world. Year 5, we talk about religion and culture, how actually being a boy or girl, you can be restricted when it comes to religion or culture. All of this is connected to FGM. Year 6, we talk about perception of beauty, body image. How did the world see you? How do we supposed to look? Do we all supposed to look the same? No, we don't. And all of that, all of the 4 themes I do with year 3 and 4, they all connect to FGM. So this is what the week looks like when I go straight to the school. So the first thing that happens after school, 3:30, we meet up with all teachers, non-school teaching, everybody. So it's a whole school staff training. Mainly that happens on the Friday. The Monday, we start parent workshop. So let's explain the parent workshop. The first parent workshop is actually what safeguarding is. So I asked the parents, what is safeguarding? Also, what does safeguarding looks like in this school? What are we safeguarding your children from? What do you expect us to safeguard your children? So everything is based on safeguarding, but it's really questioning the parents what they know about. That is the first workshop. Second workshop is PSHE and the curriculum. So this is like talking about relationship and sex education in the school, how they teach children. Also, how do we teach at the right age, at the right time? Because when you are talking to children in reception, it's different when you're talking to a child in year 5 or year 6. So it's talking about that. But the parents don't know that. So this is where my workshop's coming into. So I break that down. We talk about nutrition. We talk about obesity. We talk about gang related, because a lot of schools. So when we're talking about safeguarding, it's all of that. Some of you will actually see once with the report, they will see how it goes. But the workshop too is really in depth of everything we are talking to parents to know about their children. Third parent workshop is internet safety, which is one of the biggest turnout in my classes when my workshops, because parents really do worry. So we cover everything about social media. We cover everything where parents can go to actually safeguard their children. How can they protect their gadgets at home? Workshop 4, that's where we introduce parents to FGM. Because you have to build up. I can't talk to my parents about FGMC without talking about all the other safeguarding, because safeguarding is like a tree. It's an umbrella. You have so many different points that you have to cover. It's only the last one, workshop 5. My parents do understand what FGM is. They do get the same training as the teachers, and the rest of the hour after that, I set up the room as the year 5 children. So they become the children. And what I do is actually just provide the lesson. They become the children. I ask the same question as the children. I talk to them about the rights of children. Everything I cover with every lesson from my kids from year 3 to 5, I provide that, because if they are worried about my lessons, if they worry anything about my PowerPoint, we can talk about it. We can change it right there. And when it comes to children, which is the Friday at the end of the day, I teach each year 3, 4, and so next year we're going to change the timing, because we realize that an hour and a half of teaching is not really enough, because you teach in 1 hour and then half an hour is questions and children doing their posters and what they wanted to do. Sometimes they write poetry, sometimes they write letters to their MPs. So it's just performing that, and it's just giving the teachers enough space. What really, really went well was to provide safe space, regardless of FGM, because when we're talking about violence against women and girls, it really goes deeper. I have a lot of women who came through and say, I didn't have FGM, but thank you for providing this, because now I know I can speak up for myself, but also I can speak up for my children. That is what to me went well, because I was able to go to the school and provide that safe space and also refer them to the right places, which is again why the Vavengers was important for me, because not just because I'm the co-founder of the Vavengers, but the Vavengers provide so many spaces for women and girls, regardless of their background. The parents and some of the teachers being so open from their trauma, whatever trauma they went through, they feel so at ease to speak. They felt like there was a way out for them. Some of them came to me and said, hearing your story and the way you teach, now I'm ready to share my story with my family, not even the outside world, with their family. Why is it important? We need to safeguard our children. We actually need to safeguard our children from all the way from nursery, all the way that they can become teenagers. Because if we don't empower them about their body, if we don't tell them their body belongs to them and nobody can touch them, nobody can make them do something they don't want to do, nobody's going to touch them. But how are they going to get that if we don't empower them? So let's go back to this report that we're doing right now. Children, when it comes to FGMC, go through female genital mutilation in a very, very young age, which is primary school. If you go and look at the data in this country and the prosecution we have, we only have 2 prosecutions here in London. All those 2 prosecutions are 2 little girls. Both of them happened to them when they were 3 years old. So when you ask, why is it important? And I say, when you ask, the people who's watching this, when you ask, that's why it's important. Abuse happens in every age. Children have been abused and denied their rights in every single age that they are. So we need to get together and we need to speak up for them. There's no point for me doing this work in one borough of London. There's no point of me doing this work in London alone. This work needs to be national. This project needs to go to every single school in every corner of the UK. And I say the UK, including Ireland, Scotland, Wales, everywhere. So what we also offer in the schools is that to train the trainer. So like I said, if the school is 2 or 3 or 4 elementary, teachers come and watch me and they deliver the lessons and they feel comfortable doing it, or they will tell me what was hard for them. So I realized also to reach more schools nationally, because this is just happening in London and it's just in Ealing, Brent and Harrow, which is only 3 boroughs and mainly in Ealing. It's important for teachers to know also there is a train the trainer where I can just go to the school and whoever they name, we can train them. So they can do the parent workshop, the whole school staff training, they can deliver the lessons. That means we are free. I am free also to teach more schools. So that is one of the things that I really want the schools to take on. My work is available in any school. Any school that who's going to want this project, you can come along. I will provide all of these. I have all the work behind me. I have the PowerPoints. I have all the document that you need. But guess what? If you are not sure about it, just reach out to me. I am one of the over 230 million women and girls alive today. And I ask you this question. Will you come this journey with us? Will you change the world with us? Would you be able to make this world and this journey for our future generation easy for them to walk? Like Maya Angelou say, we have to pave the way for the future generation. And I want you to come with me, with this generation, with this journey to make a difference. Life is hard, but tomorrow is another day, and we can all change the world for a better place. Cultural acceptance does not mean accepting the unacceptable. FGMC, female genital mutilation and cutting, is unacceptable, and it have no place in our world.